everybody, how's it going out there today? I'm doing alright. I got first recording with the brand new camera. Hopefully everything goes well. Let me know what you think about the new camera. You can tell I'm red now, I'm no longer pink. Hey, there's that, right? Right, ooh, all in full fleshy color. Full beautiful colors. But anyways, hopefully the camera doesn't lag or do anything weird stuttery things, so I'm going to have to re-record. We're going to give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. But in the meanwhile, let's cover some news. So I'm going to have to give an update story here. And this is going to be one of those rare instances on the internet where the person who's making the video has to issue somewhat of an apology for being a little bit wrong. Well, about a third wrong at this point. So we've gotten a case in for the Bucks County, what I call the predator ring case. We did a coverage on this channel about a year ago at this point, which, by the way, a year turnaround time for a court thing is pretty good, pretty quick, and I'm kind of impressed that they were able to do that. But the old video is going to be up here in the card. We're going to go over that in a bit. So basically, the whole story, if you want the too long, didn't watch the old video, 3 men were found, were arrested over a predatory, quote-unquote, sex ring that occurred around, and this one child had reported it to the police, and a group of furries had been arrested over it. This happened just north of Philadelphia. So the 3 individuals up here, we have Kenneth, we got David, and we got Jeffrey. I put their names down here because I can't remember names for the life of me. I apologize for the life of me. Lupine Fox, and I can't even remember their persona names. I don't even know who this guy's persona name is on the far left. But the update here is that Kenneth has been found innocent by a jury of peers. So the details on how the case went is that the kid had accused Kenneth of abusing them, particularly in an animal costume, a fox costume. And the defense had raised that Kenneth had not acquired a fursuit costume of the fox character that he wears until 2015. The alleged incident in this case had occurred in the mid-2000s. The defense in that case had punched a giant hole in the prosecution's case against Kenneth, and the jury found that gap had lead them to a non-guilty verdict after, well, I think it was about 2 hours of debate. So, at the end of the day, I have to address an elephant in the room, and that elephant happens to be a red kangaroo dude. And I think this is something that people in the general media need to do as well, is that in that original Bucks County video I had carded earlier, I was pretty emotionally charged, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for feeling emotions about individuals who use the animal costumes and use animal costumes to try and lure children or harm children using the furry fandom, and how heinous that is, and how disgusting that is, and how it really, really harms the child, it harms the fandom, it harms everybody involved, and not just the perp and them going to prison. And I won't apologize for that, but I will apologize for the fact that during my ramblings and during my heinous, calling of heinous and disgusting individuals, I had a picture of all 3 individuals up there. For the main point being that after this, I covered the actual event itself. I did a follow-up video, and up here in the card as well, talking about and criticizing the mainstream media outside the fandom on their coverage of the incident in reflection of the furry fandom, particularly of individuals like Ian Jong, I believe his name is. He wrote a Heat Street article that utilized a generic fursuit at conventions picture in conjunction with the sex predator ring story, which caused an upheaval of individuals to say, you're going to make it so that people think that the people in this fursuit are the predators when it's not really them. It's important that you are concise in using your imagery when talking about criminal and criminal activities. So, in retrospect, knowing about that video, I was doing the same thing, only I was doing it with a thing that was acceptable at the time. I was showing a picture of these three individuals and saying that, the actions that they committed were heinous, and etc. I implicated that the person on the far right, for better or for worse, using the information at the time, what was part of this particular heinous ring act. Now, we understand that the situation is more complicated. That the victim in this case is certainly still a victim. We have the man in the middle here of David who pled guilty to abusing the young boy in this case. And so this young boy was harmed. He was violated, and he was still by an individual who considers themselves a furry and dressed up in animal costumes and whatnot. So it's still heinous, and it's still disgusting, and it still does have connections with the furry fandom, unfortunately, for the unsavory individuals. But what happened here, I believe, and that this was my opinion on it, and that when you're young, you think that people know more than they do, and it's like if people are hanging around people who are heinous and disgusting, then you believe they're heinous and disgusting too. Because it's easy to, it's hard to understand that, and it's hard to even fathom that somebody who can do something so grotesque would have associates and people that they affiliate with that have no idea of the darkness inside them. Like Kenneth might have been even blissfully, completely unaware of the type of activities and disgusting habits that those he associated with committed. He could have been completely unaware. But if someone was abused by the person that seems to be friends with or be associated with the individual in any manner, it could be well, this guy's got to be evil too. I'm gonna throw him to the dogs in court too. And so if that is what happened in this case, and if that is what occurred, then I'm glad that the justice system had done its due diligence and did its job to ensure that those who had done wrongs to people end up in jail, and those who just were in the wrong place at the wrong time and had unfortunate associations and friends that they aren't punished for that bad decision. Hopefully we be more aware of our surroundings as people as well, to make sure that we keep an eye on one another and make sure that we're on the straight and narrow, and that we're not harming people and stuff like that. But we're only human. We only know so much, and people hide obvious criminal aspects of themselves. A criminal's not going to come out and say that they're a criminal to their friends and everything, especially if it's such a heinous activity such as this. So, at the end of the day, I do issue an apology for for implicating that for the implications that has been wrought by the news media, and it wasn't just and I I'm taking responsibility for it, and I'm apologizing for it. But I'm also, the problem is that I was also taking information from other sources, right? There's a bunch of other sources that here are the three people that were arrested for the sex ring. Here's it's an emotional thing, and it's a hard thing to deal with sometimes, and that's why a lot of people are more straight-faced about, items. But when you're wrong, you got to update things. So I think that what I'm going to do in this case is, and this is something I think that a lot of news media things should do in the future as well, when moving over to the video format, is update. When you do an update on a story that has more up-to-date information, you need to ensure that the outdated information is taken away. Now, here's where things get tricky. I can't, when I talked about that video, the first video I carded on this video, that is now outdated and inaccurate for the terms in the case here. I can't just if I outright delete it, people will go, well, you're erasing history, and that's not right for you to do. So don't erase history. And you're trying to cover the fact that you made an error, right? And that you were reporting on what you knew at the time, and as if having emotions with it, and that past you. If someone watched a video of that past you, they would imply that that was the facts of the now, right? But you're erasing that you made that mistake, and that had happened, and that was a part of our history and stuff like that. So that's one side. The other side is that if you leave it up, then people obviously watch it, and they would have outdated information, and that outdated information is harmful. It's not fair to Kenneth, who was found innocent in the court of law. So what do you do in this case? Well, there's a way to sort of appease both sides. I will be unlisting the original Bucks County video. And any cards that point to that video will still be active as sort of a reference point, particularly in this video. So basically the only real link to that video that will exist at this point will be in this card with this updated information, and that video also will be updated with a card that points to this video indicating updated information. In that way, people who find that video in the ether somehow will be pointed to this video, and this video will point to that video in an indication of the history of which it was. So I think that's the best solution in these cases where new information is brought forth. And the interesting part about that critique video about showing pictures and doing that's why I put this underlying thing here where it shows this guy's innocent. I don't know about the guy on the far left here. I tried to find an update on his thing. It might still be in courts, so I can't say the way. The guy in the middle, David, has pled guilty to harming the victim here. This guy is found innocent. So in essence, if I were to show a updated image and of that original video and say and go on my little Roo rants about a predator's harm, and it's and the poor kid and blah blah blah, this would be it. At this point it'd be this would be the picture here. Kenneth is no longer part of that particular rant. So to conclude here, I'm glad that the court could do its job, and I'm glad that people who are doing actual crimes get off the street, and that innocent individuals can be free to go. And I really do hope that Lupine Fox or Kenneth, that you find peace, that you find that you can enjoy your freedom, and that people will get the most up-to-date information on you, that they won't make judgments based upon the accusation that was levied against you, and that you could enjoy your time and enjoy the fandom in peace and continue to enjoy furry content and consume furry content. Or, if you're done with it, of the fact of the matter, then have, be as you will. You know what I mean? And I do apologize for what had happened to you, because it shouldn't have happened to you in that case. But congratulations on your court victory. But obviously, it's not something that should have happened, right? Anyways, on that note, I'm going to get the hop out of here. Thank you very much for watching my channel as always. If you like what you see, be sure to kick the like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section to talk about the update here. What do you think? How do you think the media itself should deal with updates on news information? Should we, as consumers of media, hold writers accountable and hold people who create the crime blogs or crime-style news articles be held to provide updates to the cases in which they talk about arrests? Because a lot of times, I think what a lot of people see is a lot of stories about arrests being made, but not stories following up on those cases by the same authors, because they just thought, oh, someone got arrested, and that's the intense moment. So, and then they kind of forget it. And then when somebody's found innocent in the court of law, the reporting on it is more minimal, right? So, what do you what are your opinions on that? What do you think? How do you think the news media can improve covering and keeping people up to date on that information? I'd like to hear that kind of discussion going on, and I think that it should be had not only in the furry fandom, but in general media as well. So, once again, thank you very much for watching my channel. I'm going to get the hop out of here. Have a good one.